Okay, yes, hello. Hi, I'm your weird Uncle Rald, even though we're probably not related. Nieces and nephews, what do I love more than the late 90s? The mid-2000s. In the Y2K era, everything had to be white, clean, and wholesome. Pure, if you will. In the late 2000s, it was all about going against the grain and being yourself and rebelling. And what fell in the middle? Mean Girls. This movie from 2004 is absolutely iconic, so quotable, so fetch. This movie launched several careers, as short-lived as some of them were. Remember when Lindsay Lohan was this generation's Molly Ringwald? So why was Mean Girls such an interesting product at the time? Well, it's a perfect storm of aesthetic that could only take place in 2004 while telling a timeless story. But look at the fashion, listen to the music. All these things have a strong mid-2000s vibe to them. It's the cutesy punk rock trend that was going on at this time. The Basic Rebellion. And what is the Basic Rebellion? Well, it's basically the transformation that Katie goes through in the movie. High school beats the wholesome out of her. So counterculture has had this covered since the early 90s, right? All this going against the grain, being yourself stuff. And in culture always chases alternative culture, especially at this point. Oddly enough, this is represented by her becoming more into in culture. But how does she undergo the transformation? So I didn't want to steal the clips and Paramount won't return my calls, so I'm just gonna have to take matters into my own hands. Sean! Hey Sean!
Hey, what's up?
You're Katie Heron.
Aw, I wanted to be Tim Meadows.
Sean, learn the character names.
Oh, or I could be Tina Fey. I wanted to be Tim Meadows.
Okay, so the first scene I can think of Katie changing is when she meets Janice and Damien, or the counterculture. So she meets her first friends, then she undergoes her first change by skipping class, and then they explain to her what's going to happen and why.
They wanted me to get socialized.
Oh, you'll get socialized, a little slice like you.
What are you talking about?
You're a regulation hottie.
What?
Own it. Ah, yes, this would be a whole different movie if Katie wasn't hot. So, next we introduce the plastics. They represent in culture or corporate culture. And the queen bee, Regina, meets Katie and totally and coincidentally accepts her and wants to be friends with her immediately. Why? Well, it's kind of implied that Regina wants to make fun of Katie. So you've actually never been to a real school before? Shut up. Shut up!
I didn't say anything.
Homeschool. That's really interesting. Now, naturally, these two groups hate each other. Katie's alternative friends convince her to spy on the plastics, but Katie has her reservations.
Regina seems sweet.
Regina George is not sweet. She's a scum-sucking rodent. She ruined my life. She's fabulous, but she's evil. Hey, get out of here! Oh my god, Danny DeVito, I love your work! It's interesting that this movie takes the stance that counterculture isn't right or victimized. Not like, oh, save us from the horrible popular people. Everybody's mean to each other, and I love that. So, Katie is representing popular culture in 2004, right? Both counterculture and in culture are constantly at each other's throats, causing popular culture or layman's culture to compromise and be a little bit of both early 2000s and late 2000s. The longer these two cultures clash, the longer Katie, or 2004, transforms. Just like the mid-2000s, all these alternative groups are coming out. Scene, emo, etc. So the in culture starts borrowing more and more from the alternative. And the majority of America gets the bastardized version of this. Hence, Katie was a bastardized version of Regina at the end, as demonstrated by Janice's monologue.
You know I couldn't invite you. I had to pretend to be plastic.
Buddy, you're not pretending anymore. You're plastic. Cold, shiny, hard plastic. That you have an awesome time, that you listen to awesome music, drink awesome shooters, and sit around and soak up each other's awesomeness.
You're the one who made me like this so you could use me for your 8th grade revenge.
God, at least me and
Regina George know that we're mean. You just pretend to be so innocent, like, oh, I used to live in Africa with all the little birdies and all the little monkeys.
You know what? It's not my fault you're in love with me or something.
What? Oh, no, she did not. See, that's the thing with you plastics. You think everyone loves you when in fact, everyone hates you. Why are you still messing with Regina, Katie? It's because you are a mean girl. You are a bitch. And I want my pink shirt back. I want it back.
So Katie ultimately pleases no one, right? Just like the mid-2000s. Too alternative for the normies and too normal for the weirdos. That's why there's some tacky shit in 2004. Mean Girls showed the public that being yourself is ultimately more rewarding than trend chasing. And in the late 2000s, we found some more rebellious trends that we could follow. Like Ed Hardy. And other than being a long metaphor, this movie is what the public needed. It showed all sides of high school cliques and how detrimental socialization can be. And to do so in a nearly female-only perspective was long overdue. Especially one that came from all sides, not a woe is me popular kid story or a weird alternative bully type deal. Mean Girls is not only appealing to every clique, but it can show what a monster someone can become under peer pressure. No, Katie, don't smoke!
I'll do what I want!
Amazing movie, seriously. I didn't even touch on half of it. It's one of the most culturally relevant movies of our time. But of course, it wasn't the only thing to drive culture to be the way it was. But it did have a huge influence, and it is really easy to point to this because it is such a product of its time. 2004. Thanks for watching, nieces and nephews. Please subscribe, ring that dang bell, follow me on social media, and support me on Patreon. Thanks!